Hi, welcome today to this training video on Adobe Express projects, Unleash Student Creativity. My name is Teresa Sherman. I'm a tech coach at Ohio Valley ESC, and today I'll be presenting for Laurel Marion. Laurel is the tech consultant at Gallia-Vinton ESC. She is a Google Educator Level 1 and 2 certified and also a Google certified trainer. We work together as technology coaches for the Remote X grant to provide professional development for districts in our area. Let me take myself out of here and we'll go ahead and get started with the slideshow. Laurel planned for today to go through different projects in Adobe Express. She has a tremendous slide deck that I couldn't begin to guess how many hours she has put in on creating it. That slide deck you can locate and have as your reference by scanning the QR code. What my plan is for today is to look at the different projects. So we're going to create a video from a template, a video from scratch, poster from scratch, an introduction poster, trading cards, character traits, and character animation. Now, that's probably a very lofty goal to get through in our hour that we have, but if you scan this slide deck, you will have absolutely no problem finishing any of the projects that we do not have time for. So let's take a look at actually using Adobe Express and what that can do for your students. I know being a retired high school computer tech and interactive media teacher, I have had many students over the years that, given an opportunity to show what they know by creating something as opposed to writing a one-page reflection, would have chosen to create. And they could create wonderful projects, maybe infographics or a one-page poster or a video or anything like that, explaining what they know. And their projects would be far better than anything that they could have written in a more traditional way. So I think we really need to reach out and offer our students some different choices as far as what they can do to show what they know. Laurel wanted to see what your level of comfort was with Adobe Express, but like I've said, it really isn't going to matter because her slides are so step by step with screenshots that anybody can work through these projects without having any background knowledge of Adobe Express. So let's go ahead and get started. The first project that we're going to look at is going to be on creating a video from template. So to create a video from template, what we will first do is go to Adobe Express. And after we review these steps that Laurel has for us, then we'll stop and I'll go live and we'll go through these steps and work through the project step by step. So the first step is actually just creating the project, and we'll choose a video. From then, we'll go to giving it a title, and then we will pick the template that we want to use. In this case, we are going to use a template, but you can always start from scratch, which is what we'll do in the next project. And then step 3 is to choose whatever theme you want. And the themes are going to allow for your project to look consistent from frame to frame. So you really do want to follow along with a theme, just like you would in some kind of presentation. Then step 4 is going to be our layout for our particular frame. Step 5, we'll add text to our frame and then work with enlarging it to fill the frame. Then we'll go through with step 6 and add images. And these images you can get from a variety of sources. Adobe images, they are supposed to be friendly for students. So students should feel free to go ahead and do a search there. There are also other sites that are copyright friendly that can be used for education. Once we get the picture, then we'll adjust the image, maybe look at editing it a little bit. Then we'll look at switching slides. And to switch the slides is just going to be to switch the layout of them. And then finally, we'll add another frame. And once we add another frame, then we're going to put a video clip on that frame. And then we'll edit the video and we will look at the frame features, which will be step 11, and then add a credit frame so you can note, like a bibliography almost, where you got your information from. And then we'll look at the toolbar, which will show us ways that we can publish it or invite people to collaborate or maybe send it to Drive or download it. So we've got some options there with that top toolbar. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go live now and create the video from template project. The first thing that you want to do is go to Adobe Express. So you can just type in express.adobe.com and create your account if you don't have one already. To create the video, the first step is to go to the plus right here in Adobe Express. So you're going to hit the plus, choose video, and then the next step is going to have you title the video and to choose whether or not you want to use a template. So the title for our video is going to be the water cycle. Then we'll hit next. And then these are all the templates. And the templates will automatically have the fonts, the colors, the music, the transitions, etc., already built into them. We want to scroll over until we find the template that says teach a lesson. And I'm going to click pick this one. And then give it a minute and it will load. Okay, and then once it loads, what you're looking at is the video creator screen. So across the top, we have a toolbar with preview, share, and download. Over here on the top right, we have a layout, theme, resize, and music. And then across the bottom, we have a storyboard that's going to show each of the frames that are in our video. So the first step that we want to do once we have this template selected is to pick a theme. So we're going to go right here to theme, and then we're going to choose Noir. And then I'm just going to go with this first version. Okay, once that's selected, then what you're going to do is go right back up to the top right under layout and pick what kind of layout you want for this particular frame. For our demonstration, we want the split screen. So we'll click it and it will do just that. Let me close this. It's telling about the microphone here. You can always record your voice if you want to as part of your video. So now that we've got it in split screen view, we have two sides, and we're going to start with the left side and add text. And the text that we want is I can't spell today. There we go. And then notice up above the text box, you do have a plus button, and that will fill the block. So we're going to go ahead and click it, and then it'll take the text that we have typed and fill the block with that text. And then if we go on and look at the other side of our screen, what we're going to do is hit the plus, and on this side, we're going to add a video or a photo, I'm sorry. Now, the stock images are filtered, so they should be safe for your students to search through. What we want to run a search for is some kind of sunny day, sun picture. So I'm going to type in sun and go with this one. So we'll click it and it will add. Now, at this point, you can edit that video clip. If you'll notice, once it's done, you're going to have this edit button right here, and we can zoom in. So if you wanted to zoom in a little bit, I can take the image or the picture then and drag it if I wanted to position it better within that frame. So you do have some editing options right there with your image. The next thing that we're going to do is to switch. Let's say we decide we have this laid out. We want the text on the right and the image on the left. You'll notice right here in the middle is a switch button, and it'll let you swap the items that you have. So if we click that, it's going to switch and put the picture on the left side and the text on the right. I can't tell if mine's still running. I'll hit that again. There we go. And then it switched. So you do have some options there as far as your layout. You can switch those items. And then we're going to go right back and click the plus to add another frame. And this particular frame, notice, adds in after our first frame. If you want at any point to rearrange the order of these frames, you just simply drag and drop them. So it's really easy to move them around. And in this particular frame, what we're going to add is a video clip. So there are many sites where you can find copyright friendly video or photo downloads. So you want to make sure that you've got something that you can use to download from. In my case, I looked at Unsplashed, and there are others out there. So you can get a video. Let's say I should have renamed mine. Yes, here we go. Now, once you get the video added, what you can do, you notice here that it's only set to show 3 seconds, and those 3 seconds of the video clip are going to be right here. If you want different parts of the video clip, you can drag this and choose what part of the video clip you want. You can also drag the handles and increase the length of the video clip. So you've got some editing that you can do right there as far as what part of the clip you want to select. And then you'll just click save. And it will take it a minute and save your video. And then once your video is saved, we're going to look at adding text over the video, which we're going to be able to do from the pencil icon. So let me just give this a minute to render, and then we'll add the text. Okay, don't give up. We're almost done here, as it says. It's taking its good old time. Okay, here we go. So now that it's the video clip is added, you can see you've got the more button, and you can zoom in. You can trim your video if you want to. You can adjust the sound. You can continue the clip on out. So you've got some options there. We're going to hit this plus and add text to the video. And the text that we're going to add is it's raining. And then I'm going to move that text box so that it's not up there close to the children's faces. So let's drag it. And again, you're going to get the alignment bars so that you can align things with them. There you go. So our video clip is added, our text is added to it, and then the next thing that we're going to do is look at some of these options. So we have 2 frames done. We have our first frame here and our second frame. On the frame, you have the 3 dot more button. When you click it, you can, if you want, delete the frame. You can duplicate a frame. You can start the playback from a certain frame that you're on. So you do have some options there with the frame features. The last thing that we're going to do is going to be to add a frame for our credits. So if we click this plus button one more time, we're going to have our third frame. And on the text, this is where you would add the credits. So anything that you've created, you could add your name under the credits. Anything that you have found as far as the images or the videos or anything that wasn't yours to start with, you're going to want to make sure that you add the credit information here and give those people credit for their work. So that's going to be our video, just 3 frames. The next thing that we want to look at is actually playing it. So if we go back here to the play button, it will play. You hear the music playing, the transition is added, and then we'll have our credits. And then I would go through and delete those other frames. So that's our video. You can see if I close this up at the top in the middle, you have a preview, you have your share button, and you can publish it. You can invite people to collaborate, or you can invite students to work with you on the project. You can send it to Google Drive. You can download it with this next button. So you have a copy of it downloaded. So you have options here as to what you can do with your video once it is finished. So that takes us through creating a video from a template. If we go back to the slides, let me just start with where we left off at. We are finished with project 1. Now, project 2, you can choose to do on your own because it is, again, a video, but this time it's from scratch. So if we look through Laurel's slides, you can see creating a video from scratch starts out very similar to what we've done. Already for the first video. We created the project, we've chosen video, we title it. You, instead of picking out a theme for it, you're going to start it this time from scratch. And then you'll go with choosing the theme and then adding a photo, looking at using the record button so that you can record audio to narrate. We'll add frames again, add another video, and then look at adding music, which is something that we didn't do previously because we started with a template. We'll look at the layout, and you've got some options here under the layout. Step 8 is to pick a background color, which you can from your theme. And then the same frame features are there under the More button, the delete, the duplicate, the play from here. And then, of course, again, adding the credits for anything that is someone else's work. And then again, the top toolbar is going to let you share or download or invite people to collaborate. So you have those same options. For our next project, we're going to look at creating a poster from scratch. So to kind of work you through the different steps, the first step is going to basically be the same every time. You want the plus sign, and then we'll choose a custom size graphic, one for print, and then we'll make it 8.5 by 11. I don't think I mentioned before, but all your projects are being auto-saved. So kind of keep that in mind. You don't need to force it to save. They are auto-saving in your projects folder. The first step that we're going to get to after we've created this custom design is our 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. And what we're going to do is just look at the different tools that are available to you. On the left side of your workspace, you're going to see the templates, any kind of text, photos, shapes, design assets, backgrounds, etc. On the left-hand side will be your panel for colors, animation, layout, resize, and design. So that's what you're looking at on your screen as far as the two different tools, one on the left and one on the right. We're going to add text to our poster. So we'll type in winter, and then we'll look at our different font choices and ways that we can edit text with this edit text panel. And then we'll add a photo and look at editing the image that we do add to this poster. Then we're going to add the snowflake shapes and then customize those with the edit shape panel. And then finally, just actually take some time to look at all of the other options that are available for you. You can change your background. We'll look at the layers settings. We'll look at editing an image and the effects that you can have for your images. And then in the bottom middle, will be the panel where you can duplicate your page and change the views and switch pages. So we'll look at that. So okay, let's go live and create this poster from scratch. So the first step that we want to do is go to the plus button. You're going to choose custom graphic size. And then it will let you select what size you want your design to be. So you have a lot of choices. Popular, you can see a square, an Instagram story, Facebook. You have poster here, but it's an 11 by 17. Social post, print sizes. This is where we're going to choose print size, and we're going to make it letter. And then create or hit next. And at this point, we have our letter size sheet of paper, and we're going to add text. So we want to click on the left-hand side in your toolbar. You want to click text and then add your text, and it will give you a placeholder with sample text. We're going to type in, and you can see that it opens on the edit text panel here on the right. So we're going to change the text from double click to edit to the word winter in all caps. And then once the edit text panel is open, feel free to look at what your choices are. So we have text color, we have the font, the size, the alignment keys, any kind of effects that you might want. Something new is going to be this font recommendation. So based on what fonts you have chosen, it will show you which fonts work well with those other fonts. What we're going to do is change it to match Laurel's. So we want to choose the font that is True North Inline Regular. And you'll notice you have sizing handles. So those sizing handles you can click and drag to make your text kind of fill the width of the sheet. And then notice when you click and drag and move it around, you're going to have those alignment guides that will automatically appear. So we have the word winter typed. The next step is to add our photo. So we want to go over on the toolbar on the left and choose photos, and then run a search for Laurel's had a girl in snow. So I'm going to choose girl in snow. And this is the one that she used. So all we have to do is click it and it will add that image to our graphic. Okay, so very easy to add the image. Now, if you look over here on the right side panel, I'm still in the edit text. And the reason that's still showing is because I have my text selected. So if I click on the picture, then I'm going to get the side panel that says edit image. And one thing that you're going to love is this remove background option. So if I click remove background, it's going to take it a minute. It's going to work a little bit, and it's going to try to cut out the little girl from the background. If you feel like you need to do any further edits to it, you get an option here to edit the cutout. I really think it looks good as it is. So I'm just going to hit the check mark. That means that I'm finished. And my background has been erased and my little girl is left as a cutout. And again, at this point, you do have the sizing handles. So you can click and drag the sizing handles. You can drag and drop it and move it around. You're going to get the alignment guides again. So those are very helpful to creating your layout. With the picture selected, you can also look at any of the other options to edit the image. So you have lots of effects that you can mess with. And again, feel free to get in and just kind of poke around and see what's available to you. Maybe you want to add a filter to it. And if for some reason you want her to be grayscale, you can select grayscale as the filter. You can go down to the enhancements. And if you want to turn that on, you can adjust quite a few things as far as the contrast, the brightness, saturation, etc. So just feel free to mess around with the options that you have as far as editing your image. And then when you're finished, we'll go back over here and add the snowflakes. So I want to add the snowflakes, and I'm going to hit undo here because I like her with the red hat. So we're going to undo, or I am. You can leave yours however you had it edited is fine. Then I'm going to go here to shapes, and we're going to add the snowflakes. So I want to run a search for snowflake. And then once I get the snowflakes added, I'm going to be able to pick from any of these different options. So maybe I like the looks of this snowflake. I can click it and it will add. Once it's added, just like with the image and the text, you can click on it and you get your sizing handles. So if you wanted to size it, move it, you can do that. Go ahead and add just a couple, 3 snowflakes, and then we'll get in and work with them. And I'm going to leave that snowflake covering up the words for right now. So those are our shapes, our snowflakes that we've added. If you take a look, now that I have one of those shapes selected, I get the edit shape panel. And right here, I can change the color. So if I want to choose what color, maybe I want this to match exactly her scarf. I could do that with this eyedropper tool. I could click it, go out here and pick up her scarf, and then I could have the scarf the same color as the snowflakes. I could click on a different one and go back here and maybe pick something out from the color picker. Now, obviously, those aren't going together, but you get the idea. And then once you pick from the color picker, it's going to be loaded into the palette. Maybe I want another one that's a little bit brighter like that. So you've got all different choices on the color. Now, as I said, this snowflake is covering up part of my text. And even though it's lighter blue and the text is black, I can still read it. But if you notice, you have this section right here, which is going to be the order that your elements are arranged. So if I click on that, I can pick whatever element I want and move it up or down in the order. So if I wanted the winter to be first, I could click the winter, and then I could use the up arrow to move it, or I could drag and drop. So it doesn't make any difference. Whichever works for you, you can see how those are moving around. So now my text is in front of my snowflake. You could even, as Laurel did, add a snowflake and size it real small so it's right there by the girl's tongue. So if I wanted to take this one, maybe I could add another one if I wanted to, but I could take this one and move it down here, something like that. And then you get the idea. So that's some options that you have as far as working with the different shapes. Now, to just get in there and really see what you can do with your poster, let's just kind of play around. If I wanted to, I could click on the background, any place on the plain background, so I don't have an element selected, and then I'm going to get edit background. Maybe I want to choose a color. So maybe I want my whole background to be kind of beige. I could do that, which doesn't really look that well with the theme of winter, but you get the idea. So you can change the background. If you look at the bottom, you have a toolbar now at the bottom that's going to let you work through however many pages you have and display those. We only have one page. You can click the plus to add a second page to this. You can duplicate the page. Of course, you could delete the page if you had one added that you didn't want. Let's go ahead and add a page. And let's say we still want it the same as this page. Once we add it, then you can see now that we're on page 2 and the delete becomes active, so we could delete that and then go back to just having our first page. We could view all the pages in our file, and when you view all the pages, let me just add a couple. At this point, you can drag and drop and rearrange the order. So if you get the pages set up and they're not in the right order, you can always go through and drag and drop just like you can with slides. So you've got a lot of different options here. Again, based on what you have selected, that's when the edit panel is going to open for that particular object. So I could go click on the girl and I get edit image. I can click on the text and I get edit text. Click on the snowflake and get edit shape. So really you just need to get in and play with the options that are available to you and have fun creating. Going back to the slides, the next project is going to be an introduction poster. And this is really a very cute project to do. I think because it is another poster, we'll just go through and look at the slides and you can create this on your own for, again, the sake of time. So with this, Laurel had us open a template, and the template would just open in your regular screen. And then what you would do is remix it to tell about yourself. So using what you saw in the last section on creating a poster from scratch, you're going to be able to follow along, I'm sure, very well with these steps. So the next thing that you would do would be to add your own image. So you would use the edit image and replace, and then you would upload your own photo in the place of the one that was on the template. Step 4 is to edit or to replace and edit any of the shapes. So you can choose different shapes that you want to add and use shapes and text about you. So you could edit the shapes, change the color of the shape, and design just specifically to you. Then you can edit the text. So you've got any text that you want to add, anything about yourself. You get the same edit text panel. You can add different effects, and keep in mind that there are going to be font recommendations for you so that your whole design kind of flows well together. Step 5 then would be to edit the background to something that you like. You can choose a solid color as we looked at in the last project, or you could set a picture as your background. So you could use to upload a photo. And then you can add any of the shapes. Laurel did put a note on this slide that sometimes she found that she has to click off the shape and then back on the shape in order for the color palette to open. So if you get to a point where that's not working for you, that's something that you may want to try. And then again, your top toolbar is going to be basically the same. You can download it, you can publish, you can invite, you can make this a template. So if you wanted to give it to your students to remix, they could do that. You can send a drive, you can invite people to collaborate. So you have all of those same options that you did before. And then when you're finished, your final project will look something like this, and everything will be about you, taken from the template, and then using the features that have been demonstrated, you would remix this to be all about yourself. So easy enough. You should have a lot of fun with that project. The next project is going to be trading cards. So let's take a look at the slides first, and then we'll go live and create a trading card. First of all, you're going to choose a template, and Laurel does have 4 of them linked here that are good to use for this project. So you'll notice her 1, 2, 3, and 4 are linked, and that way you're going to be able to open a template to use. So if you click one, it's going to open in Adobe Express, and then you're going to be able to remix that design. And if we go back to the slides, Then the second step is just going to be to simply replace the image. And I think you're going to be seeing a common theme here. Lots of things are going to be the same over and over and over when you get in here and actually create and edit. Let me close that. The second step is going to be to edit the text, obviously, and make it your own. And then step 3 will be to add some kind of background. And then step 4 is going to be adding, again, another page, duplicating a page, looking at ways to view them like we did the last time we were live. And then the top toolbar is basically going to be the same thing. Once again, you're going to be able to download it, you're going to be able to share it, or you're going to be able to invite people to collaborate with you. The make a template is new, and that's good for students. So you might get something created and then have your students open up the template and fill in the details for this particular trading card or person. The template that Laurel has is on Christopher Columbus, and she's showing on this slide if you wanted to make it into a template that you could give your students, then the steps are right here. So you create the template under the share, you choose make a template, and then your students can open it up from your library and remix it or add to it. And then here are some other examples of different trading cards that have been made. So you can see they can be used for a variety of subjects. So let's go ahead and go back and go live, and we'll create our trading card. Okay, let's go ahead and go live. I chose this template from Laurel's slideshow. So remember, she's got options 1, 2, 3, and 4 selected. So pick one that you like the looks of, and then we're going to click Remix This Design. And then it should open it in Adobe Express. There we go. And then once you have it open, what you're going to be able to do is just simply use the tools that we've already taken a look at and make this particular template your own. So the first thing you would want to do would be to replace the image. So if you click on the image, you're going to see the handles are selected. So at this point, we could choose replace. So if I wanted to replace that image, it would let me search through photos and find another one. So let me just put that I want an athlete. Obviously, you'd want to upload your photo, but I don't have any to upload. So I'm going to use, I don't know, this one. And then my picture is exchanged, and I've replaced it, and it fills the frame just like the other picture was. So if I click on it, you've got all of these edit image options again. So you have lots of different things that you can do to it if you wanted to. And I think you're probably familiar enough now with those to be able to actually get in there and use them. The next thing that we would do is just simply edit the text. So you would, in order to get the edit text panel open, you would need to select the text. And then when you do, the edit text opens, and you can make any changes that you wanted to here. Let's say maybe I was going to do this for my son, so I could put Monroe Central football. Okay. And again, once you get your text typed in, you can do the alignment, the font, the color, the size, etc. So you've got all of those options. And then down here, of course, you would change to his name. Put my son's name in there. And then I'll just widen this a little bit so that it fits on one line. There we go. And then I could select that next section of text. And maybe I just want to put in that he is a senior. Okay. So that would be what our trading card would look like. And again, you've got all of your options here, your effects, you have font recommendations that you can use. So you've got those um, choices that you can work with. You might want to change the background. If you want to change the background, you'll need to click on it and then you get the edit background. So maybe I wanted to choose a solid color for this, and the school colors are red and black. So maybe I wanted that to be red. I could click on another element and change it. Maybe I wanted this to be black. So you kind of get the idea of the things that you can do. Just select the object and then that panel is going to open for you in the right-hand side. Again, you have the same options down below. So if you wanted to add another page or duplicate a page or change the view so that you could see all of your pages like you kind of can in slide view, that would be fine. When you're finished, depending on what you were creating this for, you can always go to the download or to the share, and you have those options. Under the share, that's where you're going to find make a template. So you could make a template for your students that they could get in and edit or add to or remix depending on the subject. And then I think that's basically it as far as creating your trading card. So we'll go back and take a look at the slides and see what our next project is going to be. I'd like to finish up today's presentation by looking at the last two projects. Due to time restraints, I don't think that we'll be able to create these live, but I do want to look at them with you on the slides. The project on character traits can be a powerful project. I had my students create this in Adobe Photoshop, and I think if they would see that it is now a template that can be remixed in Adobe Express, they would be completely blown away by how easy it is to do. So let's take a look at this. Laurel has the template linked, so you can click that link, and what you're going to do is use this as a class project. I had my students use their own picture and tell about themselves, like a project that we would do at the beginning of the year. You could also make them use this maybe for a book or a movie, some kind of TV show, and create it and then use the text that goes to describe that character or show. So it's really going to be very familiar to you, I think, by now. What you're going to do is create the template and choose to remix it. And then you want to edit the background and the photo. So you have those choices there. And then you can see Laurel has completed one for her with her picture and her characteristics. And then you simply select the text and you're able to edit it. so that it is about the image, excuse me, that you're displaying. And then once again, you have the top toolbar that's going to let you download or publish or invite or save to drive or make a template. So that's going to be the same all the way throughout, depending on what project you're working on. And then Laurel has prepared some examples for you to see on this particular slide. So you've got 3 different examples here of character traits based on the images. And that takes you through that particular project. And then the last project is the character animator. And your students will absolutely love this. On the character animator, again, Laurel has this slide linked so that you can get the template. And what you're going to do is, first step, you pick a character. So you've got all different types of characters. You pick one that you want. You simply go to the second tab, which is on the background, and you decide what background you would like for your particular character, or it can be a plain background. And then you choose what size. So depending on how you're going to use it, you would choose what size you wanted it to be. Once you have that selected, then you will record your audio to go with your character, and you can use it to explain, maybe you're going to use it for an ELA assignment to explain the theme. You could then record what the theme is, and this character will animate it and act like it's talking and repeating your words. So you've got those choices, and then you can preview it and either cancel it or accept it. And then it's finished, and it's going to let you either go back to editing, or you can download it. So Laurel does have some tips here. It says your pupil darts, it lip syncs your mouth, the head movements will all be automatic and generated based off of your own audio. So this is really a fun animator, and like I said, your students could really get creative using it. So that takes us through the last 2 projects. What we're going to look at next are some links to challenges that you can do with Adobe Express, and Laurel has those linked for you so you can take a look at those. She also has linked for you some really nice examples of work that has been created in Adobe Express. So please go ahead and check out those examples as you get time. And then the resources page is linked here. The Adobe Education Exchange is just a wealth of information. So lesson plans are done, ideas are there for all different subject areas. Ditch That Textbook has a lot of very good tutorials about Adobe Express. Then there is a link to the challenges that they create if you want to try to participate in any of the challenges. And then the Adobe Express YouTube channel is available for you as an additional resource for you to use to learn the app or teach it to your students. So I think as far as finishing up, you've got lots of additional ways that you can integrate Adobe Express into your classroom. The sky's the limit. It's really, I think, essential that we do give students the ability to create and demonstrate what they know in creative ways as well as traditional ways. The Adobe Express is available for iOS and Android, and that is linked as well. And then this is the CEU and feedback, which I'm sure that you have already found that from our Google Classroom page, which is where this video will be posted. So thank you for putting up with me. And thank you to Laurel for such a great slide deck. It's a wealth of information, very easy to follow and learn on your own. So thank you, Laurel, for taking the time to create this for us.